What's the difference between tankless water heaters and conventional water heaters? I've been asked this question 100 times over the years. Clients always want to know which one is better, what's the cost difference, and what advantage do you gain with a tankless heater? So, this week, I teamed up with Aaron Gaynor, owner of Eco Plumbers in Columbus, Ohio. His company is as professional, efficient, and all-around great as any plumbing operation I've ever seen. Aaron and I are going to show you the basics that you need to know about the differences between tankless water heaters and conventional ones. We'll discuss pros and cons, cost analysis, and much more. And that's coming up next on The Honest Carpenter Show. Tankless water heaters first showed up in the 1990s, and they were developed to address a common problem that people faced in their houses: running out of hot water. We've all experienced this before. You get several minutes into a hot shower when somebody else in the house is taking a shower, and suddenly your hot water stream turns cold. This occurs because conventional water heaters contain a finite amount of hot water, anywhere from 30 to 80 gallons. And when hot water taps are turned on in a house, they quickly begin depleting this water reservoir. As hot water flows out of the tank, it's replaced by cold water, which gradually fills the tank until it's the only water left. So when all the hot water is gone, only cold water remains, and that's what gets delivered to you. And it's doubly frustrating because there won't be any more hot water for a while. Your average 50-gallon water heater takes about 45 minutes to fully heat the tank. So until that process has taken place, you'll have lukewarm water in your house at best. Tankless water heaters were such a great innovation because they basically solved this problem. As the name suggests, tankless heaters have no water reservoir. The unit simply has an inflow and outflow valve. So when hot taps are turned on, fresh water is pushed into the unit where it gets superheated in a heat exchanger, then heads straight through the outflow valve on the way to you. This was a plumbing game changer on multiple levels. First, and most important, it meant that you no longer had to wait for a cold tank to reheat. With a tankless heater, you can run your shower and taps endlessly and never exhaust your hot water supply. The most it will do is slow down your water flow rate during extreme usage, but water will still come out hot. But second, and just as important, you're no longer heating massive amounts of water around the clock just to use in random moments. That's what a conventional water heater does. The moment the temperature in that tank drops below a certain level, at least 120 degrees by code, the unit senses it and kicks on a burner at the bottom. This burner fires until the tank is back in the desired range, then shuts off. And then right away the water begins cooling and the process starts all over again. So for its entire lifespan, the water heater is playing this game of catch-up, constantly heating water just to maintain its hot supply. And it even does this all night when you're sleeping. It's a very wasteful cycle. But with tankless heaters, you only heat what you use. So they're far more logical and efficient. And there's another important difference to consider: catastrophes. Conventional water heaters are prone to more catastrophic failures, specifically flooding. Over the years, I've lived in 2 not-so-great apartments where the water heater blew out and basically flooded multiple rooms. This happens because water itself can cause corrosion. It's full of minerals like calcium and magnesium, which lead to scale buildup and rust. With so much water just sitting in your tank over time, it's inevitable that it will start to corrode the inner lining of the wall. The only line of defense that conventional units have against this is something called an anode rod. It's a steel core rod that lives inside the tank, and it's meant to attract those corrosive minerals. So that stuff attacks the rod instead of the tank lining. Eventually, the rod will actually dissolve to nothing inside the tank. For this reason, it has to be replaced every 3 to 5 years. But, as Aaron points out, many people neglect service on their water heaters, including the anode rod. So the tank lining starts to corrode, the unit rusts, and eventually flooding ensues. And this can get bad fast because the tank will often remain under pressure from the water supply line. So it'll just keep leaking until somebody shuts off water to the whole unit. But tankless water heaters, on the other hand, don't really have this problem because 1, they don't have massive water reservoirs, and 2, many units have leak detection sensors in the bottom that can recognize pooling water and shut the unit off before it goes too far. So tankless heaters won't cause the flooding problems that conventional units do. But this does bring us to a very important distinction. Tankless water heaters have to be constantly maintained. This is not optional. Tankless heaters are very high tech. They have tons of parts and components, and only licensed plumbers are qualified to work on them. So when you purchase a tankless water heater, you are strongly advised to commit to a yearly maintenance plan. If you don't do this, you will get problems. It's just a consideration that can't be avoided with tankless units. Whereas conventional water heaters are not quite as high maintenance. Yes, they should be flushed for sediment buildup periodically. The relief valves should be replaced every 2 to 3 years. Air grills should be cleaned out. But even if people routinely defer this maintenance, their unit may still last 8 years before it dies or just becomes horribly inefficient. That timeline will not work for tankless water heaters. Without annual maintenance, you could see problems within just a couple years. But the flip side is, with that annual maintenance, a tankless heater can last well over 20 years. Compare that to the typical 8 to 12 year lifespan of a conventional unit. Also, tankless water heaters can be worked on and fixed easily by a technician because they have built-in diagnostic computers and replaceable parts. When a conventional heater really starts to go though, you just have to bite the bullet and replace the whole thing. And this is where cost starts to enter the discussion. People always want to know which one costs more and which one saves you money, but the answer really isn't that simple. Here's why. For upfront costs, there's really no comparison here. For new conventional water heaters, you can expect about a $1,600 charge for parts and installation. For a new tankless water heater, you're looking at about $4,400 fully installed. That's a big initial difference. And you may seek to validate this expense. After all, you can expect a tankless unit to last twice as long as a conventional one. Plus, tankless heaters have far better energy ratings because they heat on demand and they save gas and electricity. But Aaron points out that energy and money savings can be totally subjective. Because when people get their new tankless heaters, they may be tempted to start taking much longer showers. They'll use more water, therefore more gas or propane, and so they'll offset savings without even really thinking about it. And then on top of that, the annual maintenance plan has to be factored in with the tankless water heater. But conventional unit maintenance is typically cheaper and less frequent. So in the spirit of integrity, Aaron says that he never promotes tankless heaters based on their energy saving or money saving properties. Instead, he recommends them for their effectiveness. The fact that a unit like this Navien 240A can supply up to 3 showers in a house simultaneously with unlimited hot water. That's the main benefit. No conventional water heater can do that. But cost and down the line savings will remain a byproduct of how you specifically use your tankless heater. So I'll do a quick pro and con recap, followed by a few more notable facts you'll want to hear. Let's start with conventional heaters. Pros. The units are relatively cheap to purchase and install, and while they have several recommended maintenance guidelines, even if you neglect them, they'll sit in your basement or closet for a long time functioning like they're supposed to. Plus, and this is a big one, even when the power goes out, many of these units will continue to do their job because they have a pilot light and a simple gas feed. That's important to remember. Cons. When they do finally die, they can do so disastrously, causing flooding and damage in your house. Also, since they rely on keeping water constantly heated, they're fairly wasteful and inefficient. And of course, their hot water supply is finite, which means you could wind up with cold showers and long wait times for more hot water. Now, for tankless heaters, let's start with the pros. The greatest is that you get that continuous supply of hot water whenever you want it. They heat only the water you need, so they have high energy ratings, and they're an overall more efficient, sustainable, and quality product. Cons are that they cost more for initial install, and they have to be on a routine annual maintenance plan to remain effective, not optional. Plus, when the power goes out, the unit will stop working. You'll have no hot water till the power's back on, unless you install a backup power supply, which is an option. As for other things to keep in mind, consider that both units can benefit from an inline water filtration system. These simple additions filter minerals out of your water supply before they reach the water heater, so they can prolong the lifespan of both units while also improving your water quality. And they're easily maintained by replacing these resin filters inside. It's not too difficult. Also, if you're thinking about switching to a tankless water heater and you have an HOA, make sure that your HOA will allow it. Some of them have restrictions against wall penetrations, which tankless units require for their gas burn. And as a final note, I'll say that where home value is concerned, tankless heaters are considered a real benefit these days. From their efficiency to their long lifespans, they have features that many home buyers love to see, so they can add a lot of appeal to a house going on the market. So that's a quick breakdown for you on tankless water heaters versus conventional water heaters. I really want to thank Aaron and Eco Plumbers for teaming up with me for this video. Simply put, this company is world class. From their 3,000 plus 5-star Google reviews to the win every day mentality that permeates their work culture, every element of their company embodies perfection. That's a rare thing to see in the trades these days. So just walking through their headquarters was, for me, very inspiring. They're not just a great plumbing company, they're a great company, period. I highly recommend their services to anyone in the Columbus, Ohio or Central Ohio region. When you hire Eco Plumbers, you'll see what makes them great. That said, what did you think? Do you have anything to add on tankless water heaters versus conventional water heaters? Any opinions, questions? Let me hear about it down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to visit us at thehonestcarpenter.com to find out about our consulting service, where we provide critical home advice to people all over the country. Also, check back in for more videos coming out weekly, and please consider subscribing and hitting that little bell button to turn on notifications. That way you'll know the moment we post something. I'm Ethan James with thehonestcarpenter.com. I'll see you next time.